definitely there is a more sensitivity
Hmm.
towards this issue. And yeah, I believe it is because, yeah, well, as I was saying, in the last maybe 10, 15 years, there's been a little bit of an awakening on the environment, not just because of like people like us talking about it, but because some more like major outlets has been starting to ring the alarm that something
Hmm.
is wrong. So it is definitely more uh, it is more of a conversation that you can talk about like wide open with the public. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
definitely having people like Keegan that had a conspiracy and what the health out on Netflix, which is the
Hmm.
biggest like streaming platform in the world, like that definitely is a sign. Like, and I'm sure that a documentary like Cowspiracy that tackle such an important issue, but through a point of view that my mom would watch it and say like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Like that
Yeah.
definitely it is opening. That played a
Hmm.
huge role,
Yeah.
and I'm really glad that there has been like a documentary like that
Yeah.
is like really opening the eyes of people
Yeah.
that just didn't want to think about like, oh, it's just animals. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. Like, yeah, but,
Yeah.
like you're gonna die as well. So
Yeah. No, it's that kind of exactly. That's exactly also the kind of exposure that I was, that I think is good now because everybody is kind of. I mean, I have people who go to me like, "Oh, have you seen What the Health?" Like, I was like, "Yeah, I know that movie," and people from all over the place, and
yeah,
so I think that that's also. I mean, some people say bad and good things about Netflix, but I think in general, like having exactly a big streaming platform like that, streaming these kind of movies or bringing out these movies to people, I think it's a very important thing. Yeah.
yeah,
And
for
so,
sure. I mean, like now there is the Game Changers now
yeah,
came
exactly.
out,
I just want to mention that too.
and
Yeah. It's changing people's lives.
it's a
Yeah.
documentary that focuses on like sport.
Hmm.
But then like all these major newspapers started to talk about like athletes going vegan because they saw this documentary and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, I guess like at the end of the day, it's not my like the way I do it, but
Hmm.
anything that can save a life,
Yeah.
it's welcome
Exactly.
through a documentary. It's
Yeah.
welcome at this stage, I guess.
Yeah. And I think now people are so visual because we all are on our phones. Like everything's about videos and things you've seen. And so I think that people need this now, even more than before. I mean, yeah, people get exposed to something on a camera or they see something because it's real. Like also what you're saying, like how could I be making a movie and not show the actual hunting in it? You have to show that to
Yeah,
people because there is no other. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of yeah. It's of course it's part of your movie because it's such an important part of we are being like we are people are being blindfolded all the time. Like oh no that's not happening, but it is happening, And so exposing people to what's really going on, the truth, I think is a very important you know part of life, and especially what you're saying, showing that to non-vegans or people who aren't necessarily in the animal rights movement activist movements, I think would be a really good thing. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and that's also. Sorry if I keep talking, but
No, 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 please. Yeah, hey, I like it
but
that you keep talking, Josh.
that's true. I guess that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this documentary is to get people involved
Hmm.
outside of
Yeah,
their living room as well.
yeah.
Like I really wanted to show that to be someone that does something for wildlife, to protect wildlife.
Hmm.
In the movie there is people that are on the ground getting beaten up by the
Hmm.
hunters, all the way to politicians. There is a professor from a university. Like there is so many different things,
Hmm. Very
and
broad.
people need
Yeah.
to realize that it's not just the battle of a few
Yeah. Yeah.
punk kids like
Crazy.
they really
Yeah.
want
Few
to,
crazy
yeah,
vegans.
degrade animals. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a global issue that needs to
Yeah.
be resolved, and there's so
Absolutely.
many ways that people can get involved. So if you don't want to be on the field being punched by hunters, there is so many other things that you can do,
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's great that you make it so broad, because it's such a broad issue and it involves so many different people on so many levels. I mean, absolutely. That's really. And how is it for you? Like, how are you going to kind of release the movie? Because you're mentioning, I was just mentioning that my friends already saw it in London, so people already were able to see it in a festival. Like, how can people see your very important movie?
So right now we signed a deal with a distributor called Java Films. It's a documentary distributor, and they have like really amazing documentaries. And that was our first try to contact a distributor, and they say yes straight away. And so it was great. We contacted them because they had this documentary called Juventa about the ship that rescues the refugees that tried to cross the Mediterranean, and then the ship got arrested. And I said like, oh, this documentary is very cool.
You were mentioning this distributor, Josh. So do they manage everything for you? Like they will sell it to TV stations or anything like that? Is that how it works?
So the agreement I made with them is that they are gonna try to TV stations, streaming platforms, etc., or more local distributors. Like now they're talking with Germany and stuff like that. But at the same time, I asked them to be able to do my own screening with animal rights groups that wants to push the film to talk about this issue in their own area and maybe organize conferences and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. So the wheels are in motion.
Great. So you're just kind of waiting on how things will go with this distributor, and then soon we can see where we can see the movie then. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, there is a master plan, but I'm not allowed to reveal it yet.
There is a master plan. Okay, but and meanwhile though, because I have the flyer here, and it's there is the On the Wild Side and On the Wild Side Initiative.com is still the website, right? Like people can go there.
Yes.
Yeah, because it says here. So like that is, I think, where we could send the listeners to have a look at that website and just keep an eye out on the release really of the movie, right? To see. Yeah,
on the website you can then find links to the social media pages, which are obviously a little bit more up to date.
Yeah.
But yeah, all informations are on the website as well.
Yeah, because it's I really like also what it says here on the flyer. Like, On the Wild Side will bring viewers on a journey around the world to meet people carrying on works against hunting. The goal of this documentary is to educate people about the realities of hunting and to act as a catalyst towards the eventual end of hunting. I think it's so important, Josh.
It is.
Yeah.
And yeah, one person that I really need to mention before we stop talking is Greg Bennick.
Yeah, I just wanted to actually ask you, because he narrated it for you. How did you get him involved?
So I've known Greg for a lot of years, and through the music scene, he also did other documentaries, and so his real life job is keynote speaker, speaker in general. He writes a lot, and he has a beautiful voice. He has a beautiful way of expressing concepts and stuff like that. So he was one of the first people that I contacted when we decided to make the documentary. First, because I wanted to ask him if he wanted to narrate it, because I could see it in my head to have Greg's voice to narrate the film, and also because I wanted him to help me to write the narrating parts. And that was a good process, because I initially wrote these parts that were obviously wrote in my English, which is kind of broken and very Italian and not very refined. And then we would get on Skype or FaceTime and spend endless amount of hours rewriting everything, and then we would get to something that we say like, oh, this sounds great, and we say like, let's just rewrite it again from scratch. And then it was
Yeah.
really a long process, but at the end, we really did a great job. And I think Greg really played a major role in also
Mm.
making this movie happening. And he had good contacts, good ideas, and it was really, really good to have him on board.
Yeah, it's really great because he's quite. I think he's very well known, and he has also produced like really amazing works because he's also behind Flight from Death. I think that's a movie I've
Yeah,
seen that was narrated by Byrne, and he's behind that movie. I think he also is such an activist in his own right as well. So it's great that he
absolutely. Yeah,
was part of your and such a huge part, like lending your voice to a project like this. I think it's a very beautiful thing. That's great.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny because when you watch the movie, you see me, but you can hear Greg's voice. But I think this is only funny in our heads because we know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's me and that's his voice, and he knows that that's his
yeah,
voice, but that's my
yeah,
body and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I think it worked out really, really good in the end.
I think a narrator is really important, don't you think? Especially for these movies. Like,
Absolutely,
mm-hmm,
absolutely.
mm-hmm.
I think initially, halfway through the movie, I was talking to someone that might have been interested in helping out with the movie, and he said like, "But you have to narrate it to me." And I said like, "There's no way I'm gonna narrate it." And I said, "Yeah, it's gonna be like you're the Italian Herzog," and it's like, I don't want to be the Italian Herzog. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna sound really ridiculous. So,
And also,
but
I
yeah,
think it's also good to sort of, you already have put your heart in it, you already are doing so much. To have someone else do that narrating part is also good because it also gives you a moment also to step back and look at your project and not also be the person that has to do that. I think it's really good. And some voices are just made to narrate, I think,
absolutely,
you
yeah,
know?
and definitely some voices are made not to narrate, and that's my case.
I was trying not to say that, Josh, but yeah, I love your voice. I think your voice is great. But
That's
let's
okay.
we can ask the podcast listeners what they think. What do you think of Josh's voice? I want to thank you so much for lending your time to speak to me and the people listening to this. I'm really grateful. I have so much admiration for both you and Rafa and all you do, and I definitely fully support it. So I wish you all the very best. I hope your dreams and goals will come true with this, and I, like you, also hope that everybody in the world is going to see this. And yeah, it's so important. And yeah, thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you. Really, thank
Grazie,
you very much
grazie,
for taking.
grazie.
Yeah, prego. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for Sparky for his inputs
Yeah,
as well.
under the background, he's little. He's very happy about your movie too. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's also very much against all these crazy hunters out there. It should be something, and it should be something that should just be ending these barbaric things. They have to end. So yeah, I definitely think that people need to see this movie. That's what I think.
Cool.
So definitely for people who are listening, go to the website. So it's www.onthewildsideinitiative.com. And then also, Josh, where else can they find? Is there also an Instagram then for your project? Like, can people also find you on Instagram?
Yeah, the people can find us on Instagram and on Facebook. I think the best way is to get on the website, and there's links there because they're all
Perfect.
very complicated. Because On the Wild Side is a very popular song, so all the
Yeah.
actual Instagram that say just On the Wild Side were already taken.
I just want to
But
say,
yeah,
yeah.
you can easily find it.
Thank you so much. Well, all the best, and big hugs also for Rafa, of course. And yeah, thank you, listeners, and everybody who listened today. Please go to this website, check it out, share it with everybody you know. And as I always say, be good to yourself, be good to others, especially the animals. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.